Laurie Strode. So we've got our final girl, Laurie, right? She's been running around Haddonfield all night getting terrorized by this masked maniac. Girl's exhausted, traumatized, and honestly just trying to survive another 5 minutes. She's got this knitting needle. Yeah, a knitting needle, because apparently that's what you fight supernatural killers with. Michael comes busting through that closet door like the world's worst surprise party, and Laurie does what any reasonable person would do. She jams that needle right into his neck. Blood everywhere, Michael staggers back, crashes to the floor like a bag of bricks. Dead, right? Laurie thinks so. Dr. Loomis would probably disagree, but hey, the girl's trying her best here. But guess what? This is Michael Myers we're talking about. Dr. Loomis. Enter Dr. Loomis, the man who's been chasing Michael around town with a gun like he's hunting the world's most dangerous game, which, to be fair, he kind of is. Loomis shows up just as Michael's getting back up, because of course he is, and decides it's time to end this nightmare once and for all. 6 shots. Count them. 6 bullets pumped into Michael's chest at point blank range. The shape goes flying backwards, crashes through that window, and plummets 2 stories down onto the lawn below. That's gotta hurt, right? Even for a supernatural killing machine. Loomis and Laurie look down at the body, blood pooling on the grass, no movement. Finally, it's over. Except when they look again, the body's gone. Just like that, Michael Myers has vanished into the night like a really violent magic trick. Looks like knitting needles and bullets aren't enough. The hospital fire. Alright, so Michael followed Laurie to the hospital because apparently this guy doesn't know when to quit. Dr. Loomis has had enough of this nonsense and decides to go full pyromaniac. Loomis traps Michael in the operating room and starts filling the place with oxygen and ether. You know, the really flammable stuff that makes everything go boom. Michael's just standing there like the world's most patient statue while Loomis basically turns the room into a giant bomb. Then Loomis lights his lighter. Boom. The entire room explodes in a massive fireball that would make Michael Bay jealous. Both Loomis and Michael get caught in the blast. Flames everywhere. But here's the kicker. Michael emerges from the flames like some kind of hellish scarecrow, completely on fire, stumbling around before finally collapsing. This time he's really got to be dead, right? I mean, the guy was literally cooked alive. Well, not for long. The mineshaft. So Michael's been in a coma for 10 years after that whole being burned alive thing. But surprise, he wakes up during a patient transfer because somebody mentioned his niece Jamie. Family reunions, am I right? Fast forward through a night of mayhem and we've got the entire town of Haddonfield armed with shotguns and an attitude. They corner Michael at the old Myers house. You'd think he'd avoid that place, but some people never learn. The mob opens fire. We're talking about 20 plus people with guns just unloading on this guy. Michael takes hit after hit, staggers backward, and tumbles down into the old mine shaft behind the house. The townspeople throw dynamite down after him because apparently they've learned not to take chances. The explosion rocks the entire area and the mine shaft collapses completely. Michael Myers buried alive under tons of rock and debris. Phew. So far so good, right? Wrong. Police station massacre. Turns out Michael survived by hiding in some underground streams. This guy's like a supernatural salmon, swimming his way out of certain death. After another night of terrorizing his niece Jamie, Michael ends up at the police station. The cops pump him full of tranquilizer darts, smart move actually. But then this mysterious man in black shows up and starts shooting. Not at Michael, but at the police officers trying to stop him. Turns out this guy's been helping Michael all along, which explains a lot. Michael gets gunned down again in the crossfire, but honestly, at this point, everyone knows he's just gonna walk it off. The curse ending. Poor Dr. Loomis. Guy's been through hell trying to stop Michael, and now he's back for one final showdown. Turns out Michael's been controlled by this ancient Celtic curse, the Thorn constellation, which explains why he's basically unkillable. The climax happens in the old Myers house basement. Loomis faces off against Michael in what's essentially an old-fashioned horror movie boss fight. There's some mystical stuff involving ancient runes and curses being broken. Michael gets beaten down by a combination of the curse being lifted and good old-fashioned violence. He collapses, mask finally removed, looking more human than he has in years. But here's the kicker. When Tommy goes back to check, Michael's mask is on the floor, but the body, gone again. Classic Michael Myers move. Laurie's revenge? 20 years later, Laurie Strode has had enough. She's changed her name, moved across the country, and tried to build a new life. But Michael tracks her down because this guy's got worse abandonment issues than a clingy ex-boyfriend. After Michael terrorizes her son and his friends at a private school, Laurie decides to end this family feud once and for all. She steals a truck and hunts Michael down like she's auditioning for Mad Max. The final confrontation happens on a mountain road. Laurie runs Michael down and he gets caught on the front grille. Instead of just driving away like a normal person, she stops to make sure he's dead. Big mistake. Michael grabs her, but Laurie's ready this time. She drives off a cliff, crawls out of the wreckage, grabs an axe, and brings it down hard on Michael's neck. And just like that, it's the end for Michael Myers. Finally, Laurie got her revenge. The paramedic twist. Plot twist. Turns out, Laurie actually killed some innocent paramedic that Michael had switched clothes with. Yeah, I know, it's as ridiculous as it sounds. So Michael's still alive, and now he's really angry. He tracks Laurie down to a psychiatric hospital where she's been living with the guilt. This time, there's no escape. Michael corners Laurie on the hospital roof, but she's ready to die if it means taking him with her. She grabs onto him and throws both of them off the roof. They fall several stories down, but only Laurie dies from the impact. Michael walks away with barely a scratch. Some guys have all the luck. Brutal reality. Rob Zombie gives us a more brutal, grounded Michael Myers, but don't worry, he still dies multiple times. In the first remake, he takes a beating from Laurie that would hospitalize a normal person, but keeps coming back for more. In Zombies Halloween 2, Michael finally meets his end when Laurie shoots him in the face at point-blank range. No mystical resurrection this time, just good old-fashioned violence solving the problem. At least until the sequel gets greenlit. The House Fire. The 2018 timeline brings us full circle. Laurie's been preparing for 40 years and she's ready for round 2. Laurie traps Michael in her basement and sets the whole house on fire. Sound familiar? Yeah, Loomis tried this approach back in 1981. Spoiler alert, it didn't work then either. Michael escapes the burning house because apparently fire is just a minor inconvenience to this guy. Mob justice. Michael goes on a rampage through Haddonfield, and the town has had enough. An angry mob corners him and decides to take justice into their own hands. They beat him senseless with baseball bats, crowbars, and pure rage. Michael goes down hard, and for a moment, it looks like the nightmare is finally over. But guess what happens next? Michael gets back up, murders half the mob, and walks away like nothing happened. Looks like some things never change. The final death? After decades of terror, Michael Myers finally meets his match. But I won't spoil that one for you. You'll have to watch it yourself to see if the boogeyman can really die. One thing's for sure though, knowing Michael's track record, I wouldn't count him out just yet. So there you have it. Every single death of Michael Myers throughout the Halloween franchise. This guy's died more times than a soap opera character and somehow keeps coming back for more. Whether it's knitting needles, bullets, explosions, or angry mobs, nothing seems to keep the shape down for long. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your ideas in the comments below. What other horror icons should we break down next? And hey, if you haven't seen our Jason Voorhees death compilation, it's popping up on your screen right now. See you in the next video.